So I was reading my Bible. This is the one my great grandma got me when I got baptized. And I just got to Abraham and Isaac, and it reminded me of a conversation that I had with my mom where I asked her if she would also sacrifice me to God. So yeah, this is how that story goes. I was sitting on the couch. I had just written a horror story based on Abraham and Isaac. And I asked her, she just got out of the shower, and I said, "Hey mom, I have a really important question for you." And she was like, "Oh, what is it, sweetie?" I said, "Okay, so theoretically, right, if God came down to you today and said, 'Hey, I think that you should sacrifice Emily on the top of this mountain,' would you do it?" And without any hesitation, this woman looked me dead in the eye and said, "Yes." And I was like, you didn't even think about it. She said, "Well, if God told me to, I would." I was absolutely flabbergasted. I was like, "What the hell, Mom?" I said, "If God came down right now and said, 'Hey, you know your son, Riptide, who is saying hi to me right now, if he came down and said, 'I need you to sacrifice your dog, your beautiful baby boy, to prove that you believe in me,' I would laugh in his face. I would look at him and say, 'I'm sorry, God, but you're just going to have to send me straight to hell because I will not be doing that. I love him way too much to ever attempt to sacrifice him, so you're going to take the L on that one, buddy.'" And my mom was like, "Well, then God would just never ask you to do that because he knows that you would say no." And I said, "Mom, I don't think that's how that works." And then I said, how would you even know that it's God talking to you? Because Satan says a lot of crazy shit to people too. Like he'll slither it up in there like, "Hey baby girl, you should go do that crazy ass thing." How would you know? And she said, "Well, I would just be able to tell." And I was like, "Woman, you think that you would just be able to tell what a disembodied voice is telling you and believe that it's God?" She goes, "Well, Jesus died so that he would never, ever, ever have to ask me to do that." So long story short, my mom 100% would just sacrifice me if God asked her to. I laugh about it now because, that's really all I can do. But at the time, I was flabbergasted. And then my dad walked out and I said, "Hey, Dad." And he was like, "I don't even want you to ask me. I don't even want to be part of this conversation." And I was like, "No, this is really important. Because would you sacrifice me if God asked you to?" I'm like, am I crazy? Because there's no way in hell I'm sacrificing anybody even if God asks me to. I got too much love in my heart to do that to another human being. I don't care what God wants. God can send me straight downstairs. I will accept that punishment. So when people are like, "I got religious trauma," I'm like, yeah, did your mom ever say that she would just straight up sacrifice you like Abraham and Isaac? I don't think so. I might win on that one.